If you're hesitant to start video because these heavy, bulky, cumbersome tools intimidate you, then you're gonna wanna watch this video. But first, let's take care of these things. You really thought I was gonna throw them, didn't you? Okay, that's better. Let's get started. Hey, I'm Jen, and I'm a family filmmaker and photographer who helps other photographers learn how to add video to their services. In this video, I'm gonna highlight all the hacks that I use for getting smooth video while hand holding my camera. That's right, no need for any of the cumbersome gear like tripods, monopods, gimbals. All of those are fantastic. I do highly recommend getting those eventually, but when you're starting out, you want easy. And I'm gonna show you how to do just that. We'll start off with 3 technical tips about your camera and how to set it up, and then I'll demonstrate 4 ways to stabilize your footage while hand holding your camera. So before I demonstrate how to actually handhold the camera for smooth footage, let's talk about some technical aspects: lens choice and frame rate. My first tip is to shoot wide. Now, as a photographer, you know that any longer focal lengths, like 85 millimeters and above, are gonna require a more steady hand when you're photographing. Otherwise, you risk camera shake, and then you get blurry photos. Well, the same is true for video. The wider your lens, the less movements will show versus a longer lens, which tends to emphasize any and all movement, including what you might think not to be very much camera shake in your hands. Let me tell you, when you've got that long lens on, it looks like you're in an earthquake. So that's what we want to avoid. So when we're starting to learn, we're going to shoot wide to begin with while we're learning to make sure that we offset some of that natural shake that might just happen from using our hands. The second thing we're going to consider is our frame rate. So when we're talking frame rate, I'm talking about frames per second. If you're not sure what that is, I have an entire video on frame rate. Be sure to go check that out. So 24 and 30 frames per second. Any sort of movement in camera shake is going to be a little bit more noticeable than on, let's say, a 60 frame per second clip. And when you're in post-production, you're slowing it down. What you're doing is taking those 60 frames and stretching them over a couple of seconds. So now we only have 30 frames per second, right? And what that does is, when we slow it down, is it's going to de-emphasize some of that camera movement. It's going to be slow motion now, and that can help with camera shake as well. So these are all choices that you're going to want to consider when you're hand holding. Is frames per second and your focal length and your lens of choice. Now on to the third technical tip. This has to do more with the gear that you have. Some lenses have an image stabilization built right into it. This one, for example, is my Nikkor 35mm 1.4. And on the side, there is a switch that literally says, do you want there to be a image stabilization on or off? And what that does is, inside of the lens, it has a stabilizer that will automatically help offset any motion that may happen with your hands. Not all lenses carry this feature, but if your lens happens to have that feature, definitely turn it on, just because the more help I can get with getting smooth footage, the better it is going to be for a viewing experience. Alternatively, some cameras have IBIS, or in-body image stabilization. Ooh, I almost didn't get that out. And that's gonna be a setting found within your camera's menu. So that's an internal feature of the camera doing some of the work to help stabilize that footage. So use one or the other to help as a nice bonus for getting that stabilized footage. So the fourth, and I would say most crucial technical tip I can provide you, is to have a quality camera strap. The truth is, you can just have your hands holding the camera and attempt to do it that way. But if you have a quality strap that's easily adjustable, I'm gonna show you a few ways where this is going to totally up your game with stabilizing. It's a lot easier to stabilize when you have a strap around you than it is to just straight hand hold, okay? So the straps that I prefer are these ones from Peak Design. This is the Peak Design Slide, and it is great because it has these clasps, which you just pull up this tab right here, and you can pull it either direction that you'd like it to go, snap it back down, and it's that easy to adjust. You know those other types of straps where they have the little hook that you have to put the strap through, and it's so hard to adjust it? I dislike those so much. These ones are so easy to adjust. Each side of the strap has one of those clasps, so you can adjust it how you need. On top of that, in order to take it on and off, it has this anchor system. So it has these plastic pieces that slide right in with the anchors, you clip it in. It's that simple, it's not going anywhere. You can press down on it and you can slide the anchor right out. And it is that easy to take your camera on and off. I cannot recommend these Peak design straps more. I've had this particular one for 10 plus years. It still works exactly how it did the day I got it. It is the most reliable strap. I actually have 2 of them, and I have them interchangeable between all of my cameras. The nice thing is all I need to do is put these anchors on all of my cameras, and then I can just trade the straps as needed. I have 3 different camera bodies that I use depending on the project, and it's super easy for me to take the strap from one to the other in a matter of seconds. Highly recommend Peak Design. And don't worry, in a little bit I'm going to explain the exact way that I use this strap to help me stabilize my footage. But before I do, if you found this video helpful at all so far, I want you to head down and subscribe to my page, like the video, and leave me a comment on if you've been scared to start video and why. All right, on to the hand-holding demonstrations that I use in family films. Let's start with footage that mimics a tripod or where the frame stays in the exact same place. If you're filming something like, let's say, an interview, somebody talking, and you know in your mind as a viewer that the clip is supposed to be still and it's not, it can be very distracting for the viewer to actually focus on what the person is saying. And it's not your fault. It's just extremely difficult for humans to stay exactly still. And especially if you've got something in your hands and your arms are extended away from your body, it's just impossible to stay 100% still. If you're adamant about trying to handhold while doing something like, let's say, an interview, very slight, slow movements are going to be better than trying to stand still, hold the camera, and have no movement. The movement is going to help mask any camera shake. And as long as you keep it really slight and slow, it's not going to be distracting. It's actually going to be a nice, intentional looking move. If you are definitely wanting that tripod steady look, what I would do is I would find a surface where you can prop your elbows and then you can handhold that way. And it's going to be a lot easier for your body to stay still and look more like a tripod if your elbows are on something still and flat that will not be moving. Alternatively, you can find a surface that's the same level as your subject and you can just set your camera on that surface and press the record button that way if you don't have a tripod. On to the best part. This is my most used method for hand holding and having stabilization. I use a 3-point stabilization method using my hands, my elbows, and my body. So what you're going to do is make 2 points with your hands, one on the camera body, one on the lens, and a 3rd point by anchoring your elbows against the sides and leaving them there. Now you can move your body instead of the camera. Leave the camera exactly where it is, keep your elbows locked to your sides, and move your body from side to side, squat up and down, move forward and back. When using your strap, you're going to also use the 3-point stabilization that we just did. You're going to want to wear your strap as a sling. Then you want to adjust your strap. You don't want there to be any slack in the strap. You want the strap to be taut while your elbows are against your body and your hands are holding onto the camera. Just be sure if you're going to move forward and backward that you're keeping your body in a squatting position and taking as even of steps as possible. Alternatively, you can use the strap behind your neck if you like your hands outstretched a bit more. Move slowly. Don't forget to practice these movements. My 3rd method mimics a slider. If you don't know what a slider is, it's a tool that you mount your camera to and you literally just slide your camera back and forth. It creates very stable footage, and a lot of filmmakers that are maybe making more documentary type footage, or I've seen a lot of wedding photographers use them. But again, it's another piece of clunky equipment that you're gonna have to purchase, store, and haul with you everywhere you go. This is a trick that I learned that you can mimic a slider as long as you have a stable surface and a strap. Set your camera on top of the strap and then loop the strap back around so it's also underneath your lens. To have the camera balanced on the strap, you're going to take the extra piece of strap and you're going to pull the camera across the surface, mimicking the slider and creating that smooth, stable footage that you want. The last tip I have is probably the best. You're gonna use your strap to cradle your camera and create almost like a gimbal. Let me show you how you're gonna do this. Make sure the strap is attached to your camera and then loop the middle section of it down underneath the lens. Gather the extra sections of strap on either side together. You're gonna be able to move forward, backward, side to side, and getting that camera out of your hands is going to help with camera shake. When you're moving your feet, try to keep your body on the same plane and take small, even steps. This works well for if you want to, let's say, follow somebody who's moving in a forward line, or you want to be in front of somebody who is coming towards you. You want the camera and the frame to be moving at the same speed as the person is moving. So this method works a lot better than if you were just hand holding, even if you're using the 3-point system and moving as smooth as possible. It's still going to be showing those steps and that movement a lot more than if you use the strap to cradle your camera, get it away from your body and in one hand, and then you can smoothly move it back and forth to follow your subject. Doing so is going to help your footage appear as if it's on a straight track rather than up and down bouncing because you're taking steps. Now that you have the technical tips, now that I've shown you the demonstrations, I will not sugarcoat it. It is time for you to do some work. You're probably not going to be all that good at any of them right off the bat, and guess what? That's okay. Of course, you know that that's how humans learn. We have to practice, we have to make mistakes, and we have to try again. So go get your camera, try each of these movements, record the footage that you take, and then view it in a post-production software. That is where the beauty is gonna come from, looking at how you did something and seeing the result so that you can reflect on what happened with the footage and what you're gonna do next time to help improve it. Do not forget to practice before you start trying this with clients. If you're ready to explore some different tools besides your strap, be sure to head to the description and download my stabilization checklist, complete with links for all of the gear that I use to help me stabilize my footage. I also have a video on stabilization tools, so be sure to check that out. Before you go, make sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video, and I will see you next time.